Hi everyone, welcome to my video. Today we are gonna go through how I clean rings, specifically for before I sell them to anybody else. I like to make sure that the rings are in their most sparkling, as sparkling as they can be. There are a couple caveats to that. I don't clean anything that is porous. So when I say porous, I'm talking opals, I'm talking amber, and certain stones that I'm not super familiar with, turquoise. Anything that I think that may be porous, pearls, I will never put into soap and water. But today what I've got is a little bowl of just a little bit of Dawn washing up liquid and some, and then I have a clean bowl of water over here. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through and put these little items in. So let's go ahead and take a look at each of them so that you can kind of see how they are. So first we have this little stone, or this little ring. He's pretty grubby. You can see he's a little bit dirty in the back. Now this does fluoresce, but I do not believe it to be a real ruby. It does test as a ruby, but that doesn't mean that it's not lab created. So we're gonna go ahead and put him into the cleaning solution. Next we have this ring, which looks pretty good. You really want to make sure that when you're cleaning rings that they have an open back. That means that you can see the stone through here. And now there's another caveat. If your stones are foiled, the back of it is foiled, you don't want to do this. You don't want to put this in water, soap and water, and clean it. These are all stones that are open back. So they're not a foiled back, they're open back, which means there's no foil on them. So I'm quite comfortable putting this in to give it a clean. And I like to do this because, you know, when you're selling jewelry, for me, I like to make sure that it's in good, good condition, but, pieces they should be sparkly. Here you can see that it is open back. So we're going to put him in. Now, this one I debated on cleaning. So this is actually Bohemian Garnets. Beautiful ring. This is more vintage. So you can see in here how dirty it is. I'm always more hesitant with vintage pieces because you don't want to cause any more damage. Not that this is a damaging process, but but today I'm going to go ahead and clean him. So there you go, guys. Let's see if I can get it to focus. That's about as far as I can go. So we're going to put him in. We have this little pendant. I do not believe this stone is real. You can see that it does have open backs. See all the little holes? So we're going to go ahead and clean him. I have this dingy ring. I think this might be glass. I do not believe that this is a stone. I did test it, but you can see grimy. So we're going to wash him. Then I have a pair of sterling silver earrings. They're pretty sparkly. But you know what? They've been in somebody else's ears, so we're going to give them a clean. And last but not least, these little puppies. These are sterling. See how dirty they are in there? So we're gonna go ahead and give them a clean as well. Now, these are open back. I would, if that was closed off, if that back was closed, I would not submerge these in water, because the water can get back behind the stone and you wouldn't be able to clean it. So that's the only reason why these ones are okay for me to clean. And then just for the fun of it, because this is one of my favorite rings to wear, I actually found this in a Goodwill box. And I love it. And I think I've cleaned him once already, maybe. But yeah, let's give him a little sparkle too. All right, so I'm gonna pause right here because I'm gonna let the jewelry soak for probably about a minute, and then we'll go ahead and continue on. So these are the tools that I like to have at my disposal. This is a super soft toothbrush, so I like to use that. I also have this tool. This is really good if you guys find verdigris on jewelry. This is really good. You've got to be very careful because you don't want to scratch anything. You don't want to scratch the silver. You don't want to scratch the gold. You don't want to scratch the stones. But it is helpful when you're trying to pick dirt out of small places. And then lastly, you know, if I need to get in a little bit closer and see what we've got going on there. So I'm just going to move this stuff over. Something that I like to do before the pieces come out of the soap and water, I do like to just lightly brush through stuff. If there is any loose dirt, trying to get some of it off. And this is just part of the process for me. Oh, and guys, we did get a final word on if the Rolex is real or fake. So stay tuned because I'm gonna do a whole video on that. All right, I think that these are okay. So I'm just gonna move it back over here. Let's get our little piece of paper out. So let's take our first piece, okay? So I'm just gonna lightly brush it all the way around, all in the crown, all underneath. Let's dip it a little bit more in here. I'm gonna have to get, from my videos, you guys, I'm gonna have to get like a little square that says do not leave this area so that people can actually see what you're doing. I noticed on my unboxing video at one point I was getting just a little bit too high with where you couldn't see a lot of the jewelry in focus. So I think that that's pretty good. Let's just go ahead and take a look in there. Oops, excuse me. Do we see anything? I don't think I do see anything. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and put it back into the soap while I scrub the other pieces. Oh, so here is my garnets. They are so beautiful. These are Bohemian garnets. You know, I've seen them on videos, Czechoslovakia. Didn't think I would ever find any, but I sure did. I found this in a Goodwill box and I absolutely love it. It is definitely more vintage than a lot of the other pieces. Now this is, just so everybody is aware, this is a personal piece of mine. So I am choosing to clean it. I know that some people will go into a state of panic. Oh, you shouldn't clean antique jewelry. But for me, I'm gonna wear this, so I don't mind giving it a little bit of a clean. So you can see I'm just getting right down in there, making sure that I get all of that area cleaned. And people ask, well, how can you tell a Bohemian garnet from a regular garnet? So from what I've read and researched online, Bohemian garnets tend to be a little more light colored. They're not as dark. And this one is definitely, this one I think is also marked Czechoslovakian. You can't see it on here, but there is a marking in there for Bohemia or Czechoslovakia. I can't remember which. So yeah, this was a great find. This was a very lucky find. I do not get millions and millions of amazing pieces. You know, I've been doing this for a few years. But I do have a couple little pieces in my collection, and this is definitely one of them. All right, here we go. Our Ruby. He looked kind of dingy. So let's go ahead and clean him up. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to pause because you don't need to see me doing all of this. And then when we get to the next stage, I'll restart the video so that you can see what that next stage is. Okay, I'm just going to show you really quick. I've done the rings, so I'm just going to show you what I do with the other pieces. And then, oh, I didn't do him. Sorry, guys. Stay with me for 2 seconds. Let me brush him up. He does get a lot of wear, so I do like to make sure that he's clean. Okay, so what I do with, here's a pendant. This is the same concept as the rings, open back. We just want to make sure that we're really just giving it a little scrub down. And once I'm done cleaning them, I like to put them back in the dirty water, just in case there's any more pieces or any more dirt that needs to come off of it. When I have earrings like this, the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that the ear post is clean. So I give it a little scrub. And of course, because these are little stones, I want to make sure that those stones are clean too. So I'll give them, you know, just a little scrub. And then for these, it's the same concept, guys. You're going into the back, making sure that there's no dirt in there. I like to give it a good clean. Hopefully these will shine right up. And then they'll also be ready for selling because I've been able to clean them. Always want to make sure you get the back right here. Can get some grime on there too. And then this is our last little earring. It is a lot harder to clean pearl earrings. And actually with a pearl earring, I will go in differently. I go in with a Q-tip. All right. So I think that we've got everything washed. So let's go ahead and bring this into focus. And I don't know if you can see in there, but all the dirt that has come off from just this little bit of jewelry. And once the bubbles go away, you'll see just how dirty this water is. So, I mean, you're definitely getting some stuff off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put this into the clean water. And you would actually be surprised because I leave the jewelry to sit for a few minutes, not a few minutes, but about a minute in the clean water as well. And you would be surprised how much more dirt will come off. It's really quite fascinating to see all the dirt. So once this is done, I will go ahead and get us ready for the next process. So please stand by. Oh, let me make sure I'm in frame. Okay, I've let those sit for a few minutes, not a few minutes, 30 seconds. Sorry, I just like to say a few minutes. So let's go ahead and pull them out. And then what I like to do is I like to go through and take out some of the moisture that's in there. Obviously, you don't want the moisture to stay in the jewelry if you can get a majority of it out. Kind of get in there. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, it looked gorgeous before because they're Bohemian garnets, but it looks gorgeous now. All right, let's take one of the rings. So the little ruby ring, remember we didn't know if it was lab or real ruby. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one. Now that we've had an opportunity to clean it up a little bit. Sometimes the silver will tarnish in soap and water. And so when that happens, I do run a cloth over it to kind of bring back a little bit of the silver. But let's have a look. Look at that, guys. Look how nice that looks. From dingy to sparkly. So that turned out really nice. So I'm very excited. Let's see about the big open back blue stone. Let's see what it looks like. I mean, do you see the difference, guys? Do you see the difference on just giving it a little bit of a clean? This is especially important with your cubic zirconias. This ring actually right here is cubic zirconia, and I had some rings of mine from many moons ago that I never got rid of that are cubic zirconia, and they looked horrible. They looked dingy. But I gotta tell you guys, a little bit of soap and water goes a long way, and you don't have to scrub hard. Oh, I do like that. Look at that, guys. That's a cubic zirconia, guys. So don't think that cubic zirconias are horrible just because, you know, I mean, a lot of cubic zirconias, it just takes a little bit to make them sparkle. Now, I did notice that my ring here is broken, which is a shame. So I'm probably going to have to put this in scrap. But look at those stones. Look how gorgeous that is. And that's from probably a 4-minute process. All right, let's have a look at the rest of this stuff here. Just patting it lightly. I'm not putting any pressure on it. Just trying to make sure I can get, you know, some of the water off. Guys, look at that. Let's put you on. Oh, can I put you on? You're actually, you're too, Now, this middle stone here actually tests as a diamond moissanite. I'm going to guess, because it's in sterling silver, that it's a moissanite. I'll look for inclusions and stuff, but I do not believe that it is a diamond. All right, let's have a look at this little guy right here. Let's see how our pendant fared. Now, I haven't changed the lighting in here, guys. This is, I mean, this is it. You know, this is what it looks like, the before and after. So when you have that dingy little glass cubic zirconia jewelry and you're like, oh, I'm just going to get rid of it, you know, think twice, guys. They look amazing. This is sterling silver. Little bit of dirt pulled off of there goes a long way. And last but not least, let's see if we can. I mean, you can see the difference. So anyway, that's my video, guys, on cleaning stones that are not necessarily semi-precious. And only certain stones, obviously, that are semi-precious. You know, you don't want to be putting opals, amber, anything that's like a little bit porous. But that's my cleaning process. I like to go through that with all jewelry that I thrift. You know, again, there's always a but, right? You know, is it super antique? Is it made of real gold or silver? Is it a foil back or is it an open back? I also don't like to use those jewelry cleaners that vibrate, because they can loosen the stones. I've found that cleaning the stones this way is definitely safer. I haven't had any problems. I haven't had any damage. So you just have to be careful. Don't be rough with the stones. But I gotta tell you guys, it's a great process. So I hope you enjoyed this. You know, I hope that, you know, this has, definitely, this is something that you guys can consider when you're cleaning your jewelry at home. But if there's any questions or anybody has anything, please comment. What do you do differently? You know, what is the difference? You know, why is it important? I'm always opening to learning new things. So let me know how you clean your jewelry. Okay, guys, here are the tools of the trade. I actually had been using this one to reshape my rings, but when I did some research online, this was the recommended. I'll have to put on the screen what exactly this is, but it's supposed to be better for reshaping your rings. These are the two rings that I am going to attempt to reshape today on here so that you can see how I do it. So this ring in particular is, I did clean it. See how many missing marcasites we have? So I feel like, you know, if I reshape this, you know, it's probably just going to go into a scrap silver lot anyway. So this would be a good one to show. Now this one is different. This one is actually, I don't know if you can see it in here. Let me see if I can. Can you guys see that that is a adjustable ring? Now, I've never done one of these. I can also tell you that that stone in there is either diamond moissanite or lab-created diamond. And I can't tell you which, because remember, my Presidium doesn't give me that much information. But I don't want to ruin this ring. But you know what? For the sake of this video, let's go ahead and see if we can get this reshaped. So I'm going to put this one to the side. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the ring. This is a metal, and I can't think of the word because, you know, why would I be able to think of the word first thing in the morning? Mandrel, sorry. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on here and I'm just going to push it down. And then I'm going to flip it over and just kind of push it down. See if I can't get that to reshape a little bit. So I seem to be, yeah, just trying to get it a little bit shaped. So there you can see that's where we are. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on here, and I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to show you that you can do it with this. And what you're going to do is you're going to start to reshape the ring. See how it moved? So I'm going to push it down a little bit more. And it moved, and I'm going to push it down a little bit more. And I'm not hitting it hard, guys. You don't want to hit this hard. Now I'm going to take this out and I'm going to flip it around. So let's take a look and see where we are. Already it looks better. So now what I want to do is I want to make sure that it's, see how I'm hitting it on the very edge here? I'm actually pushing it down on the mandrel. Now, when it gets stuck on there, well, sometimes it'll get stuck. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not hitting it hard. I know that proper true silversmiths can probably do this at a speed that is well above where I am. So here you can see where we are. Much better than what it was, but I can still see that little kink in there. And you don't want to hit this hard, guys. I'm not a professional at this, so I want to make sure that I'm not destroying the piece of jewelry. But let's... Let's just have a look. There we go, guys. So, I mean, yeah, you can still see it a little bit. I could work that dent right there. But considering how it was, you know, it's in much better shape. I can actually fit it on my finger, which is amazing. So that just goes to show you how you can do it with this one. Now, I'm going to try this one. Now, this one is a little bit different. I've actually never sized a ring like this because very much it is... because it's an adjustable ring. Hopefully we can, this one takes a lot less effort than this hammer. So that's another thing. I want to make sure that I'm being cognizant that I'm not completely destroying the ring. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. I know it's a little bit harder for me to do on here. Just trying to It's a lot different when you have an adjustable ring. Let's see what we're looking at. Well, it's getting there. See how we still have a little bit on this side that's flat. So let's see if we can, reshape that. This is a process. I actually watched it online. You know, I'm certainly not a professional when it comes to this. So I'm going to pull that out. Let's see if we can't. I'm actually going to switch to the other hammer because I want to... I want to get it rounded. You always want to flip the ring over and do the same on the other side. See, we're at the edge here. All right, let's take a look and see where we are. Well, it's definitely looking better. It looks to me like it was misshapen simply for the fact that this part is the part that gets pushed in. So let's see what we can do here. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely better than what it was, guys, but I don't know. I think for me, it would have to be, I feel like this side is too far out. Let's see what that looks like. I mean, it's definitely getting there. There we go. That's looking a little bit better. See that, guys? Still a little bit rounded right here. Let's see if we can't put that back into shape. I'm going to go one more time. I think that's pretty good, guys. This ring I couldn't even fit on my finger because it was so bent. I think that that's a much better shape. Much better shape. So you guys, this is how I reshape rings. Hopefully this was helpful. You want to be slow and purposeful when you're reshaping your rings. So please hit the like if you like this video, because I can certainly do more on, you know, how I keep my jewelry looking nice. That's all I have for now. Bye, guys. And just so everybody can see, this is what my rings look like once I have reshaped them. All right, have a great day.